What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tam's Psych Advice. I'm Tamara, and I have a question for all of you ENFJs out there. You lead with FE. You're an extroverted feeler. That's what people meet when they're talking to you. Do you let it get out of control, or do you try to keep it in check? Because if you are FE, the assumption is you are feeling a flood of emotions at all times. So do you cry easily? Do you cry in front of other people? Or do you keep from doing those things? Because if you have FE at the forefront, I would think that you would cry a river, you would cry an ocean, you wouldn't be able to hold back the dam, the floodgates would burst through, and you would just be a crying wreck all the time. And yet I see other types that are also feelers that openly express emotion when it comes to sadness and crying. And then when I see ENFJs, it seems that we have to portray ourselves as strong. We don't easily cry in front of people. Maybe some of you do. That's what I want to know. Actually, I'm asking you, do you openly let your sorrow show through, or do you find yourself fighting it and trying to control it? Because we know that you feel it. It's almost like a sense of shame. Like you feel ashamed for feeling sadness or embarrassed, and you feel like you kind of don't have the right. I think for ENFJs, they put other people before themselves. So when it comes to someone else, yes, you can cry in front of me. You can show your emotions. I want to help you. I can handle your tears to a certain extent because I'm also going to be bleeding for you. But the thing is, people might not deem ENFJs as sensitive as they are. I remember President Barack Obama said that he actually had deep compassion for people and felt enormous sorrow. But the interview, and I think it was Barbara Walters, was like, you don't show much emotion. But it's actually the opposite. So if our NI, introverted intuition, is hidden from people, so hidden from people that they think they can get away with certain things, and I don't mean that in a defensive way, but they do. They don't see how much you're interpreting what they're doing. So if somebody is being manipulative, you're more than likely going to pick up on that. So for that to be hidden, and for the thing that people see is FE, and someone says, well, you don't show very much emotion. It's like, the emotion is like, I can feel it on my arms. I can feel it coursing through my body. Any little thing is upsetting. And yet, why don't we show it like other people? Why do we hide the thing? So it's like an ENFJ is kind of a walking contradiction. We aren't really presenting who we really are at times. And yet, we definitely meet people with great compassion. I will say that. Like, I think people do feel like they can talk to us about their problems, and we're gonna dig in with them, and we're gonna really have the patience to help them work through whatever it is that they're going through. So I think people do see the soft spots, but I think we come across tougher than we actually feel. I personally have great difficulty showing emotion. I can show emotion like excitement, or I can say, I feel really terrible about that, or I feel really sad. But as far as just letting the tears flow, I think as I've gotten older, there have been a couple of situations where I was so overwhelmed and just so tired, and I just said, I don't care. I am going to let you see my tears, because just feeling so upset, and it felt like I can hold back these tears, but I'm not going to, because I don't feel like it. I don't care. I definitely have felt more emotional, and it's vulnerable for me to even say this on here. Just seeing a couple of stories that just broke my heart. Like today, just a few minutes ago, I was watching a video of a man who had been blind, I guess his whole life, and he's 94, and a doctor helped him to see again. Why am I crying? I don't want to. Even though I'm sitting here by myself, I don't feel like crying. I don't like the way it feels. And yet I'm putting myself in the shoes of this man, and I'm thinking all kind of unfair possible thoughts, like I'm happy and so grateful that he can see, but he's 94. How much more life does he have? Why couldn't he have seen earlier than this so that he could have enjoyed it, and just the injustice of why things like that happen to people. I'm happy for him, but heartbroken at the same time. And I think that's the side of ENFJs that sometimes people don't see. I was reading a Chicken Soup for the Soul book that I was like, when did I buy this book? It was published in 2017, and it was Get Out of Your Comfort Zone, which I feel like I need to work on. As an ENFJ, I have great difficulty getting out of my comfort zone. I hug it like a blanket, and yet I'm forced out of my comfort zone constantly. I never get used to that feeling. I read this story of this lady who had the courage to approach a man, a quiet man that she really liked. They went on 6 dates and they got married. And this man was, I guess, a little older, and he had never married, and he was thought of as very shy, but a really good person. And she's telling the story, and then at the end, they were madly in love for 13 years, and then the man dies. And that just sent me into tears. Why couldn't they have been together for more than 13? I wanted to get to the end of the story and they're still having fun together. But no, she writes a story and he's already gone. And the story was beautiful, but I know I'm comfortable and uncomfortable crying by myself. Sometimes I just don't want to, so I'm not. And then there are other times when I just feel like a basket case of emotions, like a waterfall. I just can't control it, and I don't care. If I want to shed a few tears, I'm gonna do it. Very few people have seen me cry. There's so much pride and ego, and I've had people tell me, it's okay, you can cry. And because then I'm gonna have to deal with how I feel because I cry. I'd rather be strong for someone else who needs me and just put on a brave face, which I think is a super contradiction. I don't know if you feel like it's a contradiction, but I do, to being an ENFJ and getting to lead in FE. And I would also tell other people, if you feel like crying, then you do it. But I'm being a hypocrite. The other thing is male and female. And I often talk about this on my channel because it has been proven testosterone and estrogen are different. Male ENFJs might be naturally more aggressive and assertive, but I think female ENFJs can also be assertive in some situations and passive in others. They can lead and they can follow. But anyway, I say that to say, when we're talking about crying and emotions, male ENFJs may not feel like crying much because they got more testosterone and less estrogen, and that has been proven to make people cry more. Like if you suddenly get a boost of testosterone and less estrogen, you're gonna wonder why you're not crying. I just wonder, do ENFJ males feel less emotional? I think they feel emotional, but what about when it comes to crying though? Are you just feel deep sadness or hear a sad story and it doesn't bring you to the brink of crying? So let me know your opinion, ENFJs, on this topic, because are we just contradictory at the core? I will put a link to ENFJ videos that you guys are welcome to watch. I have 150 of them. I'll also put my narcissist link to my book and also my love book. Both of those will help you with either difficult people or getting the love life that you want. So check out all the links. If you got any video ideas, bring it. I may just do them, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, my wonderful friends.